Hey everybody, welcome back. Please be sure to subscribe, like the video, and comment down below. Let me know how I'm doing. This week we will be talking about the hottest comics releasing this Wednesday, March 17th, 2021. Let's dive right into my top picks. These are in no particular order, so I'm going to start off with Bequest number 1. Bequest number 1 is an Aftershock comic written by Tim Seeley and drawn by Freddie Williams II. They have done many works together, but most notably would be the He-Man Thundercats they most recently did. Freddie Williams II is known for doing a bunch of IDW, and Tim Seeley, he's the head of Heavy Metal. He's known for doing a bunch of DC work as well. Really great, fantastic team, and the description of this book just sounds so cool. And I love a new Aftershock book. So this one dives right into a fantasy world, and the fantasy world's Tangia, a land where wizards and warriors battle dragons in dark, dank dungeons, where thieves pillage ancient ruins and priests answer the audible words of their great gods. Plus, welcome to Chicago, Illinois, where the magical items from Tangia are being traded on the black market and are messing everything up. Now, a group of Tangia adventurers must go uncover in our modern world to stop artifacts and monsters from falling into the wrong hands. But how will they fare in a world without wizards and warriors, a world without heroes? And that just sounds really cool because you're taking the aspect of this fantasy world, but also mixing it with our reality and how dark our reality can be with this fantasy world. So I'm very excited to see where Tim Seeley takes that. Also this week, Ultramega by James Haran. Very, very excited for this one. I have loved kaiju comics these last couple of years right now, and this one seems so fun. He seems to be the writer and artist of this book with the award-winning colorist Dave Stewart, who did Gideon Falls and Black Hammer. He's fantastic. And this one seems super interesting. A cosmic plague has spread, transforming everyday people into violent, monstrous kaiju. Only the Ultramega, 3 individuals endued with incredible powers, hold the line against this madness. Their battles level cities and leave untold horrors in their wake. Now the final reckoning approaches for the Ultramega. But is this a war they can even win? Very fun. It seems like a description of a high-packed adventure of extremity by Daniel Warren Johnson, which is, if you haven't read it, check it out. It's fantastic. But with a kaiju-esque monster action punch scenes of Pacific Rim, which I'm very excited for. That seems a very cool twist. So let's see how this one goes. I have a gut feeling it's going to sell very well this week. There's a 1 in 5, 1 in 10 as well. Be sure to pick all those up. Also, Nightwing number 78, and this is finally a new creative team on Nightwing. It's Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo, who did Injustice together and Suicide Squad together. So I'm very excited where Tom Taylor is going to be able to take Nightwing. It seems that Nightwing's finally back. He's got his memory back, so thank goodness. And his drive to keep Bloodhaven safe has never been stronger. But his adopted city has elected a new mayor with the last name Zuko. When Nightwing enlists Batgirl's help in investigating the politician bearing the same name as the man who murdered his parents, she unearths detail that will shock and fundamentally change the hero. I'm very excited to finally see Nightwing back. Nightwing is always a guilty pleasure of mine, and I'm very, very excited to see what Tom Taylor does. There's not really a Tom Taylor book I haven't liked. He's a very fun, he dives really well into DC lore, and I really enjoy that and appreciate that. So let's see where he can take this. Also up this week, Mightnight Western Theatre. This is a super independent comic. I really just like the premise of this, so I wanted to make sure that it gets out there and people know about this book. It's from Scout Comics. It's written by Louis Southard and drawn by David Hahn. And welcome to the Mightnight Western Theatre. Our feature presentation is a tale of town under siege. The notorious Red Tom and his dastardly posse have laid claim to the once prosperous vista of Liberty Springs, but for how long? Will these outlaws be able to savor their sinful victory as 2 Black Clan strangers suddenly arrive? And I just like the whole black and gray, old school Midwestern scene to this, and I love like an old school theater, so I'm very interested to see how this one plays out this week. I myself will be picking it up, at least checking out the first 2 issues at least, and yeah. So that's it for my top picks this week. Next, we're going into our series shoutouts. And these aren't necessarily the hottest comics I think that will be released this week, but it's definitely ones that you should be on your radar for, and ones I think are just going to be really fun to check out. So up first is Thor number 13. Of course, Donny Cates, he's killing it. I absolutely love his work. I know a lot of people have been dissing on Thor lately just because Frog Thor was in it, and, you know, Lockjaw and stuff, and they think Donald Blake's too powerful, and all this nonsense, in my opinion. I really like Frog Thor. I love Lockjaw. I thought it was a very fun last issue, very action-packed, and I'm super excited to see where this is going to go with Donald Blake. I believe this is the second to last issue of this run, so I want to see the way things ended last issue with Valkyrie going to see Odin, who doesn't necessarily look like himself anymore, and see what he can really do to help here. And also, I like in the preview how Doctor Strange and Loki are going to meet up again, just because Donny Cates' last run on Doctor Strange had a really fun intertwine with the two of them, so I'm excited to see where that goes. Also, TMNT ongoing number 115. This comic just gets better and better. I love Sophie Campbell doing this comic, and I think it's very fun, intriguing. I look forward to this comic every time it comes out. And this one, finally, we're going to get the big battle of Bebop and Rocksteady fighting Toka and Razor. Something we've always wanted. Two of the biggest monsters going up against two of the other villain monsters. It's just going to be a fun time. And we're going to see if Jennika really is able to finish forming her band in this future. And maybe, you know, there might be a surprise person. Who knows? I'm not too sure, but I'm very excited for this. Up next, Black Knight, Curse Ebony Blade number 1. It's a 1 of 5. It is written by C. Superior, which I'm so glad he's still getting work because I was devastated when his Hellblazer got canceled. And it's drawn by Sergio Davila. And this one seems very interesting. There hasn't been a Black Knight comic in a really long time, so I'm excited to see what he does with Dane Whitman. And there's some fantastic covers for this. There's a really nice Peach Momoko, and, you know, some just overall fantastic Stormbreaker covers. I am very excited to check this one out. Also, Trials of Ultraman number 1, another 5-part miniseries done by Kyle Higgins. If you liked Rise of Ultraman, I'm pretty sure you will like Trials of Ultraman, because Rise of Ultraman was more like the boringer one, where you're trying to, like, claim this character development going up slowly, but finally, now, with the Trials of Ultraman, it seems like he's really going to get into those kaiju fights and see where he can really stack up to all these heroes. So, great covers again, really nice Peach Momoko, very excited. I love that Art Adams 1 in 25 kaiju variant. It should be really fun, and hopefully you guys check it out. Now, we do have a couple of late printings this week that I think you should be on the lookout for, especially Maniac of New York number 1, second print. That was an Aftershock comic. It mainly looks like a Jason Voorhees comic. If you didn't get a chance to check that one out, highly recommend to grab that second print. TMNT Last Ronin Director's Cut number 1. It's going to have some add-on features that the number 1 didn't originally have, so if you're really big into Last Ronin, highly recommend grabbing that Director's Cut. Invincible number 1, Amazon Prime Video Edition. Invincible number 1 came out for a local comic book shop last year, and that sold fantastic. And now that the animated series comes out March 26th, super soon, I believe getting a number 1 of this might be really helpful and great for your collection. And last but not least, Star Wars High Republic number 1, 4th printing. If you still haven't gotten the number 1, what are you waiting for? It's a great comic, and this is 4th printing finally, so hopefully everybody that wants one is able to get one. And I hope you check out all these comics and many more this week. I didn't really have too much time to talk about all the great comics that released this week, so be sure to check out your local comic book shop this Wednesday, March 17th, 2021. Have a great day!